Hallöchen Leute und willkommen zurück auf diesem wunderschönen Kanal. In diesem Video werden wir auf Jack Doherty could be arrested after McKinley finally speaks out. Leute, wer es nicht mitbekommen hat, großes Drama. Jack und McKinley, die waren ja mal zusammen und dann haben die sich vor ein paar Monaten getrennt und jetzt sagt sie, weil sie ist sehr plötzlich weggegangen von ihr und jetzt hat sie in einem 6-stündigen Podcast alles erzählt, was passiert ist. Und weil es gab halt Spekulationen, aber sie wollte nie darüber reden. Und jetzt ist es halt soweit und sie hat geredet. Und irgendwie hat dieser hier Myst heißt der, keine Ahnung, hat er jetzt ein Video gemacht. Und das werden wir uns jetzt anschauen, Leute. Let's go.
Doherty did a huge crime.
Also Leute, wenn ihr kein Englisch oder so versteht, dann müsst ihr noch ein bisschen länger zur Schule gehen.
Time his ex-girlfriend McKinley just exposed Jack Doherty's criminal activity once again. This time it's very serious because if this gets handed over to the police, Jack Doherty might seriously face huge...
gehört, er war so gesehen glaube ich 5-6 Stunden. Es war wirklich sehr interessant, Leute. Es war sehr, sehr, sehr interessant. Ich habe mit einige Male wirklich mein Kiefer so runtergefallen. Es war wirklich heftig an manchen Stellen. Das Thumbnail. Aber nee, es war wirklich heftig.
Huge legal consequences. You might be thinking this is all just talk and not really happening, but when you see that McKinley exposed Jack Doherty over some huge violations and criminal allegations, just think about it. It's not just a random matter. This is now huge on the internet. So now people are actually finding out about the allegations against Jack Doherty.
Es kamen 2 Parts raus, und wirklich auch jetzt Millionen Aufrufe schon nach so ein paar Tagen und ja, es ist halt überall komplett viral gegangen, aber ist ja auch klar und ja.
Over his shady business agency, and it's turning out to be true. Some very dark things are happening inside Jack Doherty's agency business. If the authorities look into this, nobody will be able to save Jack Doherty, and the allegations comparing him to Jeffrey Epstein are now actually starting to seem true. So what's actually happening right now? I'll describe it to you in this video. Let's get started. So guys, first watch the most recent video of McKinley on Camila Araujo's podcast, where something shocking was revealed. This is a huge allegation against Jack Doherty, and if this turns out to be true, then maybe nothing can stop Jack Doherty from going to prison. In the podcast, McKinley talked about how Jack Doherty and his friend did something wrong to her in the past, and indirectly, Jack Doherty was the main culprit behind it.
I ended up going to bed, and I just remember waking up and hand was in my pants.
Das hat sie innerhalb der ersten 5 Minuten vom Podcast erzählt. Das ist wirklich krass. Also wirklich innerhalb der ersten 5, ich weiß nicht, vielleicht auch 10 Minuten, aber wurde direkt sowas Heftiges schon geleakt. Das ist schon heftig. Da kann man sich vorstellen, wie so der Rest war vom Podcast.
Him and Jack. Okay. And I just felt so violated and scared. Like I had never been through a situation like that ever. And not knowing who it was. Like, I just woke up to a dark figure.
Ich muss immer lachen, wenn jemand weint, okay? Ich kann da nichts für.
Next to me, laying in bed, with his hands in my pants. I woke up freaking out. I pushed him away from me, and I'm like trying to tap Jack. And I'm like, Jack. And he's drunk as shit. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm pushing this guy off of me, and he doesn't care. I turned to the side, like closer to Jack, and I'm like trying to tap him. I'm basically on top of Jack in his back.
Guys, did you hear how shady this whole thing was? Now I know McKinley isn't a perfect person.
Ausgedacht sein, so. Das schauspielt man ja jetzt nicht und diese Situation und so, also ich glaube, das macht man ja jetzt nicht unbedingt, also das sind 5 Stunden ging das Ganze, das wird dann irgendwo dann auch aufgeflogen sein, wenn das fake wäre, Leute, also es ist schon alles echt.
What she's saying right now can't be completely false, because everyone knows how shady and low Jack Doherty
halt auch
can
nichts
get.
Neues, sozusagen, ne?
Profit and to show off, treating them like tools for his money-making schemes, nothing else. Just imagine, if these things could happen to his own girlfriend inside Jack Doherty's house, and how many other girls might have been victims behind the scenes. Yeah. Who really knows what goes on there? Later, McKinley even exposed more details about the shady things that happened to her inside Jack Doherty's house.
Oh, der hat eine sehr angenehme Stimme irgendwie.
Jack didn't take any of it seriously, because to him these violations didn't matter. His house has basically become a spot for bad things, nothing else.
And he just is saying, I'm gonna f you right now. And I woke him up and Jack woke up and I was like, get him out of here. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's trying to hump me from the back while I'm talking to Jack, and Jack is awake. And Jack is like, bro, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Go. And he was like, I'm fucking her right now. And I was just shaking. I was crying. I was in shock. And he just gets up and leaves the room. And I stayed awake that whole entire night. And Jack went to bed. And I just was like, there's no way that happened to me right now. I don't know what to do. I wanted to go home. But I was like, well, in the morning, I guess, Jack will remember, what happened. I pulled Jack aside. I was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, do you remember what happened last night? He was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like, he did that to me. And I explained it in detail, and he was like, holy shit, I remember.
Did you hear this? Jack Doherty even forgot everything that happened the next day. And if Jack wasn't the main culprit behind it, then he should have called cops, but he didn't. Even later, Jack didn't properly remember what really happened. These are shady things that happened behind the scenes. But at the same time, I also think McKinley isn't completely innocent either. If she was really appropriate and serious about this, she should have called the cops right when it happened. But now, after the breakup, when Jack...
Ja, ich denke immer, es gehören ja immer zwei Seiten so einer Geschichte, ne, Leute. Also man kann nicht 100% dem einen die Schuld geben. Da ist halt auch ein bisschen Schuld von ihr, generell auch über die ganzen Sachen, die sie erzählt hat. Also ich würde nicht immer 100% einem die Schuld geben, ne?
Has no emotional or personal connection with her anymore. She's suddenly coming out and talking about all this. Guys, don't you think this might be a tactic to get attention or become relevant again on the internet? Many people are actually commenting about this situation online. For example, one person said, sorry, no sympathy for you. The SA card is overplayed. Another wrote, ultimate cringe unlocked. Someone else commented, called the cops to escort her out of his house when they broke up, but doesn't go to the cops about this? Interesting. And another person said, it's crazy how women can go on podcasts and talk about this for a paycheck, but never call the cops, so they get paid for interviews instead. So guys, do you agree with these comments or not? Let me know.
Ja, keine Ahnung, so halb irgendwie, ne? Ich weiß nicht.
But one thing is still clear.
Ich glaube, es ist so eine Mischung aus beidem. Keine Ahnung, ich glaube, da wurde auch so viel, generell einfach so viel, wenn sie nichts gesagt habe, waren so viele Vermutungen und so draus. Und ich glaube, jetzt wollte sie einfach mal sprechen, denke ich.
Jack Doherty is one of the shadiest people when it comes to his business agency. This is more proof of that. But this isn't the first time McKinley has exposed Jack Doherty. Even before, she revealed his controversial OnlyFans business, explaining how he allegedly pressured her repeatedly to help promote his business and the shady things happening behind the camera.
We were talking for 6 months before I even showed my face on camera, and I didn't have an OnlyFans or anything. I actually didn't want to do it. I was so against it. It was against everything that I was...
Das stimmt halt nicht. Sie hat doch gerade gesagt, die haben sich erstmal 6 Monate kennengelernt, bevor sie überhaupt sich gezeigt hat. Stimmt aber nicht. In dem anderen Interview hat sie gesagt, wir haben uns dadurch kennengelernt, weil wir Videos zusammen erstmal produziert haben.
Raised with.
Widerspricht sich etwas.
But another thing is, McKinley didn't actually cut ties with Jack Doherty just because of these issues. It seems like money played a role too. She actually knew that Jack Doherty's business wasn't doing well. Doherty has cut his spending very, very heavily because he's not making that much money anymore, which McKinley wasn't used to. From the beginning of the relationship, McKinley saw huge money being spent on her. And she was enjoying that wealth and luxury, even after many people criticized Jack Doherty's relationship, saying it wasn't real and that the girl would leave once the money was gone. Well, that unfortunately happened way sooner than people expected. Finally, one day she came with cops to Jack Doherty's house, took all her belongings, and left.
$1 million a month, and then today we got in one little argument. She swaps all her passwords, takes everything I've done for her, and doesn't even try to have a conversation with me. Calls these people on me.
This was the biggest blow Jack Doherty got. After this, Jack started to become irrelevant. People started ignoring Jack Doherty. No matter what he does, no one cares. But now, the situation isn't staying quiet anymore. From experts to big names, even his ex-girlfriend McKinley is publicly exposing Jack Doherty's OnlyFans business agency. If you remember, John Bravo Films already exposed how Jack Doherty used girls, made them greedy for money, and then treated them like tools for his own profit. Nothing else.
Finds these girls that are naive, that are looking for fame, looking for money, right? He moves them in, he tells them he loves them, right? He starts filming them, putting them on OnlyFans.
I completely agree with that. If big names are now exposing Jack Doherty's shady business tactics and how he's been making millions by allegedly manipulating people, then this clearly isn't a simple matter anymore. Things have gotten serious, and the truth is catching up to him fast. Right now, it seems like even the authorities are keeping an eye on Jack Doherty, especially since he was reportedly visited by police at his house recently. If these investigations go deeper and the claims turn out to be true, Jack might finally have to face real consequences for everything he's done. But you might ask, why is Jack...
Naja, also nach dieser Geschichte würde ich das schon ein bisschen feiern, wenn er da mal ein bisschen zu vernünftig, also mal ein bisschen seine Gedanken sammelt. im Gefängnis.
Doherty still doing all these shady things. Well, in one recent video, a creator actually exposed how Jack Doherty manipulates others to cover up the shady stuff he's still doing right now.
And we'd really start to see the beginning of two things that Jack does quite a lot in his videos. One, manipulate the story to make it seem like he's the good guy. And two, using his money to make himself seem more important. Jack was self-aware, but only to the point of manipulation. He knew that he was super young and could hide behind that. This way he could just simply use the, well, I'm just so young and stupid, I don't know what I'm doing type of
Hat glaube ich, sogar selbst schon gesagt.
card that basically get off scot-free. It kind of worked. Because he never really faced any actual consequences. Even when Jack would get kicked out.
Das ist ehrlich krass. Er war noch nie im Knast. Also er wurde einmal festgenommen und dann wurde er für 2 Stunden oder so im Auto festgehalten von der Polizei. Ehrlich. Das ist einfach
Or even literally get arrested, that didn't really matter.
Yeah.
He was never truly punished. And this was because he still got his main reward, the views. He never learned or took accountability because it was all for good content. And Jack was buying his parents luxurious houses and goods, so they weren't really objecting.
And honestly, I completely agree with that creator. Jack Doherty has been manipulating people and hiding all his questionable activities behind his flashy lifestyle. Nothing else. Nobody really talks about his shady business or what's going on behind the camera, because Jack never shows that side of his life. But now, as all these things are starting to come out, you can just imagine how bad this could get for Jack Doherty. Some clips that accidentally got leaked even showed how he used girls like tools, and those clips are still online, exposing the kind of shady and possibly criminal mindset Jack Doherty seems to have. So guys, as you've already noticed, there are now serious claims going around about Jack Doherty's controversial OnlyFans agency. And honestly, it's starting to look like there might be some truth behind it. Nothing is confirmed yet, but when George Janko once confronted Jack Doherty and told him to stop running his questionable business, even when Janko told him to stop, he said he
Hä? Was war das?
needed money to pay his bills.
Just stressing the out. I'll be like, God damn, like all these bills are adding up.
So now everything is getting exposed against Jack Doherty, especially after his ex-girlfriend McKinley brutally revealed so many shocking things about him. Just imagine what could come next for Jack. If all these exposures turn out to be true, he might actually face serious legal trouble. But the big question is, do you think Jack Doherty will truly be punished for everything that's coming out again?
Ja, ich glaube schon, er wird schon irgendwann bestraft, also richtig. Also Leute, was da in dem Podcast auch teilweise wirklich gedroppt wurde, war schon wirklich heftig. Also das war schon wirklich krass. Was man auch wirklich gar nicht so jetzt erwartet hätte. Also die Leute, die es interessiert, zieht euch den Podcast rein. Dann macht das Video ein bisschen mehr Sinn, vielleicht, was wir gerade geguckt haben, versteht man dann alles ein bisschen besser. Aber auf alle Fälle wirklich, ja, also der Podcast war wirklich sehr heftig und sehr krass. Und ja, ich hoffe mal, dass er dann das bekommt, was er auch verdient hat, ne? Auf alle Fälle eigentlich ganz gut. Boah, der hat so eine angenehme Stimme gehabt, Leute, der Mies oder wie auch immer der heißt. Sehr gut. Mal gucken, was die Kommentare hier so sagen. After what Jack mom said to McKinley, I can see where Jack personally came from. Das ist wirklich krass. Was die Mutter da teilweise selbst gesagt hat, ist wirklich krass. Das ist wirklich krass, Leute. Das wird so am Ende des Podcasts und vom zweiten Part so geleakt, was die Mutter da so alles geschrieben hat. Und Leute, dann fällt man aber ich vom Stuhl hier. Just send him to jail already. Please send Jack to jail. Ja. Ja, Leute, also es sind halt alles nicht mehr so ganz Jacks Seite, aber es war noch nie so, es war ja schon immer so, also für ihn, ich glaube nicht, dass es da jetzt wirklich irgendwas verändert hat, Leute, weil alle sind immer gegen ihn, deswegen hat so, ja, ich denke, es sind jetzt vielleicht noch mehr geworden, aber, ja. Auf alle Fälle, Leute, lasst einen Daumen nach oben da, schaut bei diesem netten, lieben Typen vorbei, der macht auch noch andere Videos, auch so von anderen Leuten, glaube ich, weiß gar nicht genau. Auf alle Fälle, die Stimme war sehr gut, war schon sehr gutes Video, zweimal kurz ein Schnittfehler, aber alles gut, schwamm drüber. Genau, Leute, lasst einen Daumen nach oben bei mir da, abonniert und dann sehen wir uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Ciao, Kakao.